Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, February 13th, 2023. I'm Crystal Dawn Hill, and I do these videos for several different reasons. Some is because I just want to talk about my journey and hopes that it will help others. Sometimes it's to share information that I feel compelled to share because Spirit wants me to. And sometimes it's to ask for insight from others because I'm feeling like I need guidance from somewhere other than internally. Today, I'm sharing for a little bit of a different reason than all of those. I'm actually not wanting to share because some of the information in this video is going to be a little uncomfortable for me to talk about. But it's important, and I think it's significant in my journey and in my awareness. And therefore, it could be for other people as well. And if you can hear it, my voice is even getting scratchy, and that's how much I don't want to talk about this. So, I met my Divine Masculine 4 years ago. And a few months into our connection, he started doing live videos. And in one of his videos, he made a statement that I never understood. Intuitively, I think I did, but cognitively, I completely did not accept that this could be a possibility. But just a few days ago, I realized that it's exactly what's happening, and so I want to talk about it. I mean, I don't want to talk about it. I think I should. So, what he said in the video was that maybe we're not ascending, maybe we're descending. And when I first heard this, I kind of dismissed it. And it kind of stuck with me. And so I continued to think about it and ponder it. And I was shown the infinity symbol. And that what happens is the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine are kind of going in opposite directions on the infinity symbol. And when they meet or come back into union after a separation, is that intersecting part in the middle where the line crosses in the middle of the infinity symbol. So I felt really disappointed about that, and this is one of the reasons why this conversation is uncomfortable for me, because I didn't want to accept that. I wanted to believe that we were moving in the same direction simultaneously or in stride with each other the whole time. What made me believe that he was right was because he's my Divine Masculine, and because I know intuitively that when he speaks something with confidence that it's true. And incidentally, I hadn't thought about this, but just this moment, he probably feels the same way about me. I mean, he's never come out and agreed with anything that I've said when it comes to this topic. Maybe nothing at all. But I believe that he feels the same way as me, as like what I say might not make sense to him, but there's a knowing within him that what I'm saying is honest and truthful. So I don't remember what made this cross my mind, but I know it was a couple days ago, and it was either something I was writing as a comment in a group, or I was going to write my own post. And when this hit me, I knew that I had to talk about it, even though it is uncomfortable for me. And that is that the twins are moving in opposite directions, and the unions and the reunions are the crossing point where they kind of rendezvous or have an impromptu encounter and then just keep going. So I had forgotten about talking about this a few days ago. And yesterday I was reminded about it. And I didn't know if I wanted to write a post or do a video, but I knew I had to put it out there. And honestly, I was putting it off. And I forgot about it. I literally forgot what it was that I was supposed to talk about. So I got up this morning and I had a dream. Actually, when I went to bed, I was feeling really sad and really lonely. And I fell asleep asking if I could please encounter my divine masculine in the dream state, because I just am missing him so bad. And instead, someone stepped in my dream space that is one of my least favorite people in the whole world. And when I woke up, I was in a terrible mood. I was grumbling, I was pouting, I was fussing at God for not letting me meet up with my divine masculine when I really wanted to. But the dream itself, the symbols in the dream felt important. And so I looked up each dream symbol, and one of them was a ladder. And when I was reading the explanation of the ladder in the dream website, it hit me that I was supposed to be talking about this, because it was talking about going up the ladder or coming down the ladder. And in my dream, I was doing both. I went up and then I was coming back down. And that reminded me again of what I was supposed to be talking about. And also, this really isn't relevant to what I'm talking about today, but I do want to say it. The person that I dreamed about has the same name as someone that I just started following on YouTube. And I like that person. So I think that's the reason that I just dreamed about this random person with the same name. And there might be significance in it later. I don't know. But for right now, I just know that whatever reason he showed up in my dream, it's not really much of my concern right now, because I'm not ready to take that on, if there is anything to it. Because it was like, when I got up, the first thing I said out loud was, I wanted to meet my divine masculine in my dream, not that person. So, yeah, I was a little annoyed about that. So, if anyone else has had an experience like this where they realized what the infinity symbol represented in their connection and how you and your divine partner or twin flame are navigating along that infinity symbol in relation to each other, I would be interested to hear that. And one thing I can take a little bit of comfort in is that one time I did a little illustration of a circle, and I knew that, like, I was doing it in reference to the runner chaser, and it was like, if the divine masculine is running, then he's eventually going to catch up with the chaser because they're just running around in the same circle. But when it comes to the infinity symbol, then that's still going to be the case, but they're not going to be going in the same direction. They're going to be going in opposite directions and come face to face with each other for a moment at that center point and then just keep going. And I'd love to know what your thoughts are on it. Like, do they ever really catch up with each other and just go in stride with each other and go in harmony with each other? Or is the infinity symbol, is the meaning of that they just keep going the same way into infinity? I hope not. I mean, I know it's really not even a circle that we're on, but it's a spiral, and we keep going upward. That's how I've seen it before. Like, each circle gets smaller and smaller until we're just at the very tip top, and then we're in union forever. And that's how it feels energetically, because when I look back over my other relationships, it's like I was coming into union with one aspect of my divine masculine, because whoever I was with represented that aspect of him. And ever since we've met, I've seen him in and out of relationships. And I haven't seen the face of every girl that he's been in relationship with, but I've been able to feel her energy through him. And I know that he's going through different phases in his journey as well, the same as I did before we met. So I don't know if I don't even know what I was going to say. I don't know something, but I don't know what I don't know. I think I was just going to say I don't know and leave it at that. But yeah, I've watched him in and out of relationships, and I can also see where he's progressed through each one, and there's been something about each one that has represented a different aspect of our connection, and that gives me hope, and that makes me feel a little bit less tied to him, because essentially what I always wanted in the beginning was not the conventional relationship, but rather to feel free and to feel comforted in knowing that he's where he needs to be in his journey. And as long as he feels any kind of confusion or strife or frustration or anything like that, I'm still going to feel boggled down to a certain degree. And I know many people say that you have to let go and let them do their journey and you do yours. And that makes sense if it's not the true divine partner. But when it is the true divine partner, that's impossible, because you're one and you're never, ever going to be separate from each other. Like I always make reference to that same point that was made in a Twin Flame Signs video one time about the soul contract between twin flames and divine partners. The contract is one contract that the two of you share, because you're one soul. So you don't each have your own contract. There's only one contract for you both. And you each see to it that both of you fulfill every checkpoint in that task in that contract. So for example, I really wasn't expecting to go into this, and if this video cuts off, then I'll do a part 2. So far it looks okay. So for example, if I see my divine masculine doing something that is completely independent of me, it still involves me because my energy is still there with him. And if he's doing it according to the contract or not, I know, I can feel it by the way it feels when I'm making a good choice versus a bad choice. It's the same feeling. So if I see him not fulfilling the contract and going by his own free will and whatever he wants to do in his flesh versus what spirit is directing him to do, then I see myself sitting there and looking and going, that's not right. But if he is doing it according to our contract, then I feel a sense of joy and peace, like assurance, like I can rest at ease and not have to worry about it. And sometimes, if it's a more human level thing, then I might feel a little bit more in my human emotion and feel maybe pride or excitement or something like that. But the downside of that is that it's like we're always on the edge. It's always wondering what that next step is going to be. Is it going to move us up higher and closer to one another, or is it going to cause us to plummet and feel like we're starting all over again? And maybe that has something to do with the ascension and the descension as well. And maybe that's the essence of the power struggle, is that I'm always wanting to move up and he's always wanting to move down, like into his humanness, and I'm always wanting to move up into our spiritual being. And the center point is that happy medium between us where we can both feel content with where we are without fully agreeing one way or the other. We're finding that balance. And interestingly enough, when I first met him, that's what I was shown our ultimate goal was. So maybe that was the contract and I didn't recognize it at the time. But it's balance and it's harmony. So I'm starting to get really hoarse now, and that's really all I wanted to say about it anyway. So if you have questions or comments and would like to discuss it further, please always feel free to reach out. Thank you so much for following along my journey. I wish you all the very best along your journey as well. And whether you're in union with your divine partner or anyone, or whether you're single right now, have a very wonderful Valentine's Day, and have the kind of Valentine's Day that you look at like the ultimate romantic day. Because as much as people want to say that this journey isn't about romance, this journey isn't about romance in the conventional human sense of the word. And it certainly isn't the priority, but it is definitely a big part of who we are as human beings. And while we're here in a human body, we have to live that humanness to its fullest. And a big part of that, if not the biggest part of being a human, is finding romantic love and a partner that we can be happy with and be in partnership with and do things that we couldn't necessarily do all on our own. And for anyone who still questions that, you can reference Corinthians, the 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 11, which tells us that God did not intend for us to be on our own, but with a man or a woman. So, thank you everyone for following along. Again, have a very wonderful day and take care.